right, so now let's dig into actually working with the DJI Mimo app and what features you have available when you hook in your DJI Mic Mini into the app. So there's two ways that you can hook in your microphone into the app. So you could either hook in your transmitter using Bluetooth and it's gonna have some functionality, or you can hook in your receiver and you're gonna get even more functionality. So let's just start with the transmitter. So I'm gonna put this into pairing mode. I'm gonna hold the pair button until I get the lights to flash blue and green. Now they're flashing blue and green. I'm gonna go into my Bluetooth settings. I'm gonna pair my Mic Mini. It's connected. I'm gonna bring up the DJI Mimo app, hit the button right in the center, and now my Mic Mini is connected via Bluetooth. So I could use this with my phone via Bluetooth without having to use the receiver. But when you're in the DJI Mimo app, you have some different settings here. So there's a few buttons you can turn on or off. Auto off basically means that this will power off if it's not connected to any other device, and it will auto shut off in 15 minutes. This way it's gonna save some power if you're not using the Mic Mini. Now the second option you have access to is power button for noise cancellation. So on the Mic Mini, you can click the power button once at any point, turn on your noise cancellation, your yellow light's gonna turn on, and then your noise cancellation is on. If you don't plan on using noise cancellation, it's a good idea to turn this feature off so that you don't accidentally press it and then have some audio with the noise cancellation turned on when you don't actually wanna use it. So I'm gonna press the power button again, the little yellow light's gonna turn off. And then the last option you have in your Mimo app is the mic LED. So you can click this and all of your lights on the Mic Mini are not gonna be showing. So the device is still powered on, everything is still working, however the lights are turned off. So if these lights are bothering you and you don't wanna see them when you're recording, you can go in here, turn them off, and then you won't see any LED lights. Now also you wanna connect your Mic Mini transmitter directly to your phone when you need to update it. So updates come directly from the Mimo app. So you're gonna connect via Bluetooth and you'll go back to the main home screen, and at the top where it says DJI Mimo, there will be a little bar right there that says update. And so if you're working with two Mic Minis, you'll need to connect each one individually, go in here and update them independently. You're not gonna be able to update it if you just connect the receiver into your phone. All right, so now let's go over the DJI Mimo app when you connect the receiver. So I'm gonna put on my USB-C adapter. You just line up the arrows and push the adapter on until it fully clicks in on the receiver. Plug the receiver into your phone, and when you're in the DJI Mimo app, you'll see that your settings will automatically pop up. So you could either use this option to record only, or you can go into your settings. So I'm gonna go into the settings so we can see everything about our microphone and change the rest of the settings. Now right now, it's showing that no transmitters are connected. So I'm gonna power on my first transmitter. I'm gonna go back into pairing mode by holding the pair button. It's gonna flash. I'm gonna hold the pairing button on the receiver. It's gonna start flashing on the 1 and 2. And now this is gonna connect. And you can see in the app, it now says TX1, it shows the battery life, and it shows that it's connected. And you can see that my audio levels are coming through on the left and right channel. Now let's pair the other microphone. So I opened up my case, I pulled it out, and because this was already paired, it automatically popped up, and right there, TX2 has a full battery, and I'm in mono mode, so you see that both of them are recording on the left and right channel. So let's go through some of these options that you have access to in the Mimo app. So under the receiver settings, the RX settings, this is where you could change your noise cancellation. And there's two types of noise cancellation. There's basic, which is gonna be better for relatively quiet environments, but you just wanna cut out some background noise. And strong, when you wanna cut out a lot of the background noise. So imagine being in a super loud environment and you wanna focus in on your voice. So this is for noisy outdoor environments. All right, so let's go through the different noise cancellation modes. Right now, this is what it sounds like with no noise cancellation turned on. And I have some sounds here so we have some background noise because it's pretty quiet up here. So we'll turn this on. This is some city sound effects from New York. Pretty much the furthest place from where I'm at right now. But this is what it sounds like when I'm talking, and this is with no noise cancellation turned on. So now I've turned on the basic noise cancellation, and I've left the New York sounds playing in the background at the same distance, so you get a sense of how much it's gonna be reducing the sounds in the background and how much it's focusing in on my voice. Now with the two levels of noise cancellation, the basic is gonna be for a little bit quieter environments, whereas the strong is definitely for when it's super loud. So let's turn on the strong, but to do that, I have to hook it into my phone and switch over to the strong setting in the Mimo app. All right, I've turned on the strong noise cancellation, and let's get the background playing again. So now I have the same sound effects playing in the background, New York City soundscape, the same volume, the same distance from the microphone, and I'm just gonna talk on this hilltop. Got some clouds coming in the distance. Looks like there might be some rain, but just peeking out over that mountain behind you is Catalina. Pretty cool view from up here. But yeah, what do you think of the sounds with the strong noise cancellation turned on? And now here's with it turned off. So you could really hear the difference between strong and back to just no noise cancellation turned on. So you'll select which noise cancellation you want to have on, and then when you turn on your noise canceling on the transmitter and it shows yellow, it's going to be using the one that you have set here in the Mimo app. So just make sure to set this up before you use the noise cancellation on your transmitter. Now underneath that, you have your audio channel. You have mono and stereo, and we already went over how you actually use mono and stereo with this microphone. And the next option is for that safety track, so mono with a safety track. Now, the next option is for a low cut filter. So this removes some lower frequencies in the audio spectrum so that it gives you just a little bit more clarity on your voice. I would play around with this, see if this is an option that you personally want to use when you're out recording, and see if you like the audio that you're getting out of the Mic Mini when this is turned on. Oftentimes when I'm working with wireless external microphones, there is a low cut filter, and I usually don't use it. However, there are some of you who might want to use this, so I highly suggest just test it. Do some recordings with the low cut filter turned off, and do some with the low cut filter turned on. And the same thing with the noise cancellation. Play around with it. Do multiple recordings, bring it back to your computer, listen to them, see what sounds the best, listen to them from your phone, listen to them from your headphones, just so you can get an idea of what each one of these is doing to your audio and how your voice sounds when you're recording. Now for your receiver, there's the same auto off feature. So you can have the receiver automatically turn off if it's not connected to anything and it hasn't been used for the last 15 minutes. Now a cool feature you can turn on is this auto on and off with camera. So when this is turned on, when you have it hooked up to your camera, if you shut off your camera's power, the receiver is actually going to shut off its power as well. And the same thing, if you power on your camera and it's connected, it's going to automatically turn on the receiver. So this is a good feature to have on if you're using this with your camera, so that when you turn your camera on and off, it automatically turns on the DJI Mic Mini on and off. Now the last option is this clipping control. And the DJI Mic Mini is trying to get the best audio without actually clipping that audio, getting it too high. And so for most of the time when I've been working with the DJI Mic Mini, I've just left this option on. It just gives me a little bit more safety, trying not to clip that audio on the high range. Now when you scroll down a little bit further, you have the same transmitter settings that I showed you earlier when you had the Mic Mini hooked up via Bluetooth. So you're going to use a mix of the physical buttons on the transmitter and the receiver, while also connecting to the Mimo app to take full control of this microphone system. Check, 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 check. Check 1, 2. Well, I came up here to shoot a few shots for this video at sunset, and I completely messed up by not having a camera plate for my tripod. So my camera is gonna be on my bike here, and we're gonna shoot these scenes balancing on the seat. Now let's go to the last section, which is all about how to get good audio using the DJI Mic Mini. So a big thing with this system is the distance. Now, in a clear line of sight, I could start walking away from you, and I'm gonna have audio that's gonna be clean with a clear line of sight to the camera. The system is supposed to go up to 400 meters away. However, you have to have a clear line of sight. So this is right here in the middle on my chest, and I have the receiver right there over on the camera. As soon as you put something between the transmitter and the receiver, you're gonna cut out the signal. It's not gonna be as clean. It might break up a little bit, or it might just completely break apart fully. So when you're close to the receiver, I could turn around. You're still gonna hear my voice. It's not gonna break apart. There is some distance you can be away from the receiver and still be able to, block yourself, move around, and you're still gonna get clean audio. The problem with line of sight is distance. So as I start walking away, I'm just gonna go even further this time And I'm just gonna keep talking, walking down this trail, and I'm gonna turn over here to the right, and definitely my body is blocking the transmitter from the receiver, and you probably won't be able to hear anything anymore. So it's probably definitely cutting out at this point. But I'll turn around. I now have a clear line of sight, and you'll probably be able to start picking up this audio again. So it's very much a line of sight at a distance, but when you're closer to the receiver, you'll have some flexibility where you can block the signal a little bit and it will still sound fine. Nice view. Now, when you're in an indoor setting, an office setting like this, you're in your studio, wherever you're filming, there's a few things that you want to think about to get the best audio from your DJI Mic Mini. So right now I'm recording using the Mic Mini. This is what it sounds like in my office. But if I was to put the microphone over here, you can see how much worse it sounds because it's going to be more echoey. It's going to feel more distance. So you're going to want to keep the Mic Mini close to you. Now also, because there's a lot of hard surfaces in this space, you're going to hear some reverb. So you're going to hear more echo in a room, especially if it's a bigger room, if there's large flat spaces, if there's not a lot of sound treatment to be able to get rid of this reverb, you're going to hear just a lot of echo, a lot of sounds bouncing around. So one of the things that you could do is actually put some sort of cover over you to get better audio in this setting. So now I've put a sweatshirt over myself, and I'm keeping the microphone at a proper distance away from my mouth, and this is what it sounds like. So you're not going to be hearing as much of the room ambience because it's being blocked by the fabric that I have on my sweatshirt. I take this off, and all of a sudden you're going to start hearing more of that room's ambience. So one of the tricks that creators will use to be able to get better sound for your voiceover is actually go in a closet with clothes. That's going to help get rid of all of that ambient sound and help get rid of the echo that you hear in a room that's big and open and has lots of flat walls. Now, if you're not doing necessarily voiceover work, and you actually have to be on camera like this, well, you could use like sound blankets or like just a big sheet or something right on the edge of camera on either side or right where my voice is projecting. And it's going to help break up that sound a little bit so you don't get so much reverb in the room. Now, if you are someone who's dealing with not the best audio, well, there are some AI editing tools that's going to help fix the audio and get rid of some of this background ambience. You could turn on the noise reduction that's in the DJI mic itself, clean it up a little bit that way, or you could go through and use an AI editing software, something like Aphonic, and be able to do this afterwards when you're actually editing your videos. So one of the things I suggest you do is play around with the space that you're going to be filming in, especially if you're using this for your YouTube channel, for your videos at home. Play around with some different techniques to get the best audio. Turn on the noise cancellation and see how that sounds if you're using it with noise cancellation turned on versus the noise cancellation turned off. Also play around with positioning and where your microphone is to be able to get the cleanest audio that doesn't have a lot of background noise. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you touch this microphone and you're moving your fingers around, well, you're gonna hear all of that movement. Even though if it doesn't sound like I'm doing anything to my ears, you could definitely hear what's going on right now. You hear that I'm like touching it, I'm moving my fingers around. It's not gonna sound the best. If you're ever holding this microphone, just try to not rub it in any way. Try to keep it as still as possible. And if you have it on yourself, try not to let clothes rub against it because that's all gonna create rustling sounds in your audio. And if you can, you could clip it onto something and let it sit there so that there's no chance of you getting that rubbing sound. Now, one of the ways that I often use the DJI Mic Mini is when I'm wearing my backpack, because I use the chest strap and I just hook the Mic Mini right into the chest strap. It puts it in the perfect place to be able to record audio. And so when I'm outdoors, when I'm hiking, whatever I'm doing outside, and it makes sense to wear a backpack, this becomes like one of the easiest places to place this microphone. Whether you are just putting this on your t-shirt, a jacket, or like a backpack like I have, the ideal spot that you want to put your microphone is right here in the center. This is an omnidirectional microphone, meaning that it's recording audio in a 360 sphere. It's not directional, so it's not pointed in one specific direction. So you could put it right here at your chest and it's the right distance away from your mouth so that you get nice, clean audio instead of like right here in your mouth and then you're just like really talking into it. That doesn't sound very good. And also you want your microphone a little bit away from your mouth to sound the best. This is why when I'm hand holding the microphone, I keep it a little bit of distance. But if I do have it on my shirt or backpack strap, I like to keep it right in the center of my chest. Now, you could put it on one of the either sides of the strap, but just know, if you turn your head away, you're gonna hear the audio start to fluctuate. So if I say had this over on my backpack strap on my left, and I turn over here to my right, you'll see that it instantly is gonna change the sound. Whereas when I talk this way, you're gonna hear a completely different sound. So ideally, you want it centered, and you want it the same distance at all times away from your mouth so that your audio is consistent. So I put it right here because very rarely do I look down to talk. I'm always gonna be projecting more out towards the camera, towards you. And having it at the chest keeps it a good amount of distance away from the mouth, and also keeps the audio consistent so that you always have a clean sound. So if you are gonna be using it in this way, where you're gonna be talking to camera and you just want it in a good spot where you're always gonna get clean sound, center of the chest, somewhere in this region is gonna be the ideal spot to use it. Now, if you're hand holding, same kind of concept. You wanna keep it centered and you wanna keep it the same distance from your mouth. So if you turn your head, well, you wanna move the microphone with your head wherever you're rotating. So if I turn my head to the left, I wanna rotate the microphone over here. If I turn the head to the right, well, I wanna rotate my microphone over here. That way your sound is always consistent versus if you like kept it over here and then you're talking this way, you have that same issue where the audio is gonna start changing and fluctuating. So just same distance from your mouth, same position. That way you can have clean, consistent audio with whatever you're doing. And because this microphone is so small, it is good to be able to just hold and have a microphone that you can talk to and not have to have it clipped onto something. It allows you to get clean audio with whatever you're doing by just hand holding this microphone. So the DJI Mic Mini is an awesome little wireless microphone system, and there's a ton of features packed into it, even though it is so small. So if you have any other questions around the DJI Mic Mini, please let me know down in the comments if there's anything else that you want me to go over with this setup. And if you're someone who's gonna be doing outdoor or adventure or travel style videos and using a Mic Mini, then I highly suggest checking out this video right here, which is gonna go through a ton of tips and how you make better outdoor and adventure style videos. And also make sure you head over to the creatorfilmschool.com where I have all my courses designed specifically for those of you who want to do this. Go out in nature, go explore and make videos and build your audience around that. So I'll see you over there.